everyone, welcome back to Newfound Happy Hour. This is Sarah, and if you haven't watched this podcast before or listened to this podcast before, it's a lot of sharing experiences, and I've been a little bit delayed on this episode, but it's an episode with my good friend Janelle of many, many years, and she's talking about her ADHD diagnosis and her feelings surrounding that, and I think it's a pretty relatable conversation. We kind of talk about it in the episode, how so many people are getting diagnosed with ADHD as adults, and more kids are getting diagnosed with it. So it's definitely something that I think everyone can relate to, or at least maybe try to understand, which is the whole point of this podcast. So there's going to be multiple parts to this one. I think there might even be 3 different parts to this one. We ended up drinking wine in the first part, and so the part that was supposed to be a second part might have to get divided up into 2 different parts. But that one's more of like a laid back, fun conversation between friends, and then this one is more of just her sharing her experience with ADHD. So let's get started. Okay, so this is a different setup again. I've been changing the setup for where I'm recording, so that's just it. But we are having an actual happy hour for Newfound Happy Hour and having some wine, which is a true happy hour. I did an episode with Becky and Jess before where we actually drank wine on Zoom, and it made for a pretty good episode.
I think it'll be good.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to podcasts. Sarah specifically.
It's been fun. And everyone I have on has a lot of stuff to talk about, and you have had an eventful year,
To say the least.
and you just turned 31. So basically the year of being 30 was a lot of changes. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the life changes?
Sure, yeah.
Give a couple.
We can kind of like go through everything that happened like in jot note form.
Yeah. Chronologically, not chronologically.
Yeah, like I'll try and go chronologically. So basically like the last time I seen my ex-boyfriend of almost 5 years was on my 30th birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the last time I seen him was like we celebrated my birthday. So ended that relationship. And that kind of was like the start of like, who am I? What am I doing? Oh, also that day, same thing. My 30th birthday was my last day of work. So It really like, I turned 30 and it was like, oh, we're not me anymore. We're someone else. And then, so I totally like didn't go back to work, which, was that advice of my therapist. Like my therapist was saying that for so long. So then when like my contract wasn't renewed, it was like, oh, thank God type of thing. It was definitely like a mutual thing. Then I was like, I'm taking the summer and having fun. Did that. I went from having 1 tattoo and now I have like 10, I think, in my 30s.
Yep.
Or 30. Dyed my hair black. I've been blonde the last 10 years. Dyed my hair black, cut bangs. Lived on my own for the first time. Got a cat. I've never been around a cat in my life. Literally got a cat. Looked it up that day. Like I got home and was like, I don't know how to take care of a cat. Like I didn't look up anything. Yeah. Got diagnosed with ADHD. Got medicated for ADHD. All kinds of things.
So few things in the span of a year.
Yeah, I feel like that's scratching the iceberg, but that's like the biggest things.
Yeah, and I think we were talking about how like ADHD is kind of not the cause, but maybe like at the root of all those changes.
Oh, for sure.
And I haven't spoken with anyone about ADHD before, but most of our friends are 30 or slightly over 30, and so many people, I even have a cousin who was like 40 when she was diagnosed. And people are getting diagnosed so much later. Mm-hmm. I guess it hasn't really been as much of a thing. Like, you didn't hear of anyone having ADHD when we were in school.
Especially girls. Like,
yeah,
it was always the guys. They had ADHD. And even then it was like, oh, they have to take Ritalin. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just so different. And it wasn't even, like, then it was ADD.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not even a thing anymore. Like, it's all
I was talking to someone the other day about that, how, like, ADHD was just associated with Ritalin and kids selling their Ritalin. Like,
yeah.
I remember in junior high.
Yeah, exactly.
Like kids, yes, people talking about being on Ritalin, which obviously is not the best course of action for junior high and high school kids.
Right, of course.
To be on. So I guess people become more educated, and
and there's
obviously that's led to more people being diagnosed and medicated and all of that.
Yeah, and there's way more options, like way more medications. So it's good.
It is good. But for a lot of people, like I have a friend who was diagnosed, same thing, close to 30, and like the job that she's in now, it doesn't really affect her. Like she's like, I'm not going to get medicated because it doesn't affect me negatively.
Right.
It kind of like works with the job that she has. She's super active in her work. But for other people who sit at a desk all day, it can kind of be debilitating.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe we can talk about your jobs.
Yeah, I can talk more about
I guess like your like career trajectory.
Sure, yeah, I can talk about all of that. Kind of everything you mentioned, because it's funny that you said that like it works for her, because so many people have like said to me like, "Oh my god, no, ADHD is a superpower." And like like that's how I feel about that, because it's been like the most debilitating thing of my life. Like I was supposed to go back to work in September, and like I went into like what was like an ADHD paralysis is what they call it. Like it's kind of like there's so many things I need to do and I just fucking can't, because everything's overwhelming and everything's stressful, because my mind's going a mile a minute and like it's like racing, and it just like ultimately like me trying to live in a world that's like not developed for an atypical mind, like or a neurotypical mind, has made my anxiety and depression so much worse. So it was really hard to learn I had ADHD, but then now that I know it, it's like, oh, I actually don't really have as much anxiety and depression as I thought. It was just trying to like live in a world that's not meant for me, where I'm not medicated and I don't know like different tools to use. So like it's been huge for anxiety. Like I don't think I have anxiety. I think I have just ADHD, and like now maybe I had depression, but again, that could be something that like it's still a new diagnosis to me. So hopefully that's something that I won't have to.
Yeah. With therapy though, because you mentioned you were going to therapy, how long were you doing that before getting diagnosed? And like what was the process of getting diagnosed?
Yeah, for sure. So I first time I went to therapy, I was in high school. So I've been going like in and out of therapy for 14 years, like almost half my life, probably half of my life. And it wasn't until a year ago that my therapist was like, and it was a new therapist at the time, like I was seeing them a few months. ADHD has never been on my radar, like not for 1 minute ever. I've never thought I've had it. And she just suggested it to me. She was like, has anyone ever said to you that you might have ADHD? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I have autism. She's like, no. And then I was like, I think I have BPD. And she's like, not even close. But like we went through the symptoms and we just like were laughing because they were so on the nose. Like it was insane. And it just like brings so many things into perspective. So then it was like super hard to learn that I had it, because everything that was like a little quirk or a little irritating that I did all became part of like my ADHD. So then like instead of having like all these little things that like I'm not the most efficient at, now I have one massive thing, and it was just like looming over me, and that's what like made like doing anything difficult.
So when she suggested that you might have that and you're like, okay, these are the symptoms, like was it her diagnosis?
Yeah.
Going through that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So so she was my therapist. She wasn't a psychiatrist. So then I consulted with my family doctor, and then we started the process of getting actually diagnosed.
Okay.
So then that was the fall. I got officially diagnosed by a doctor and started medication.
Okay.
But like it was my therapist who like caught it. And like my family doctor has known me like forever, and you know what I mean, and I've been to so many therapists before and they've never ever picked up on it. So it's crazy to like how easily people like just, I don't know what the right way to say is, but like how easily it is to go undetected, I should say. Like people will brush off so much of it, of like, she's a yapper, she's what, and I am, but
I think everyone's different, and a few people, I was telling you before this, a few people who have kids, and I have been talking about it recently, like how to know what's ADHD, what is normal teenage behavior, what is normal kid behavior, what is normal adult behavior. And I think there's so many factors that like you really do need an actual diagnosis, of course, but like it's also presenting differently in people.
100%.
And presents differently in men and women and boys and girls. And so, yeah, I think people get overwhelmed when thinking about it because they're like, is it ADHD or like, am I just in a bad situation?
Well,
or what's the difference?
Because it is brought out in those bad situations. Like, obviously, all the changes I went through and then it was the worst it ever was. Like, that's not a coincidence. So it just becomes like when it's hard to cope with ADHD. So when you have other things that make life hard to cope, it's just like another thing. You're like, you are one.
Yep.
You have one more thing on your plate than say someone else. So like a breakup plus ADHD or like, you know, a move or whatever. Like it just makes everything else a little more harder to like wrap your brain around, understand, and like kind of like compartmentalize your thoughts. Like that's the hardest part for me is my brain is like a constant thing. So there's no like, oh, I feel bad, I can just go to work and focus on work. There's no focusing on work. Like my brain is like hyper fixated on whatever it wants to be on. And if that's like talking about North Korea or that's talking about, you know, thinking about my breakup, then that's it. Right. So getting medicated has like helped so much, but still makes struggles because your medication helps you focus. So sometimes it says we're focusing on the wrong thing, but it's a process.
Yeah, I think it's really, from what I know, it's like finding out what works for you specifically and what works for someone might not work with someone else.
100%.
Or for someone else. Yeah.
No, 100%. 100%. And then like you said, like it's so different between like boys and girls or like men and women. So something I think I've learned even in like the last couple of weeks is like how to use masking to your benefit. Because like I think since learning that I have ADHD, like that's been like harder because I've stopped masking as much. But now, like, whereas before I would just mask and not know what masking is. And I guess if you don't know what masking is, it's like when you kind of just like go along with like how you should act in situations or what people would want you to say. Like you just match people's energy. So like you can change your personality really easy depending on like who you're interacting with or whatever. So I've stopped doing that as much.
Is that a Taurus thing too? I think that's an Earth sign thing.
It could be, for sure. I mean, a lot of people do that. But like,
but it aids.
Yeah, in ADHD, you just like learn about like what's typical and what's not, and you just like learn how to fit in typically, even if that's not your natural state at the time. So I definitely do that less, but like lately, I've just been doing it more again, like in situations like I feel like I've been doing it in when I've been interviewing and like or wanting to meet new friends or whatever, and it works. And I was like saying, I think you might even been there when I was saying it, but I was like saying how I feel like it's manipulative. But then like I've learned it's not manipulative, it's just masking. And like you said, like a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
So it's like even just learning that, like it's so hard. Like that's something people don't even think about. It's just matching someone's energy. But because for me it's masking, now it's like there's a differentiation between those two. Because I'm like, don't mask. But it's like, no, you still have to match people's energy. So it's so hard to find the balance of like owning who you are, but like also like making your life easier
and people too, like I heard when I was talking about this the other day, someone was like, well, it's so overdiagnosed and like it's so like people overdiagnose, which I don't disagree with. Like I think for all health problems, because I had a naturopath on this podcast once before, and the whole episode was like finding the root of the problem. And so for some people, like different, I guess, mental health issues or like any kind of illness or any kind of like condition that you have, if you're living healthily, I don't know if that's the word, but like if you're being healthy, if you're doing things that like should lead you to be healthy, if that's where your problem's coming from, like by being like non-active or like being on your phone 24/7 or like certain things that will affect people's mental health. Like obviously those things should be looked at first. But for people who are being super healthy, like active or like doing things that are good for their mental health, and they still have this, like you have always been very active. So like, I think again, it just comes down to the specific person and knowing like what is right for them. And I will trust that people who put their kids on medication have tried other things.
Yeah, of course.
Or I would like to.
Yeah.
Now that I say that, I'm like, okay.
It is. I think about it because people used to say the same thing about anxiety. Remember, it was like, so, everyone has anxiety. No one's really saying that anymore. So I think it is just part of like this resurgence of like learning so much about it that we never knew. And there's new medications and new options and all of that. So I think that will go away. But like, I've been very sensitive to people saying they have ADHD online as like a little quirk too, because like for me, it has like almost ruined my life this past year. Like, I don't know if like, it's so crazy to say. And I told like Devin this today that like, if she didn't come home, I'd probably still be in bed, which is like, so I was like, you know, thank goodness you're here, whether it's for you or for me, but like, you're here for a reason. But like, for me, it was like, so when people say things like, oh, it's a superpower, it's like, that's so irritating and so like dismissive. And then when people are like, oh my god, I'm all over the place, I'm so ADHD, it's like, I can't get out of bed.
It's almost like when people say, oh, I'm so OCD. Like OCD is a real condition thing. And like that is like for some people
very
where they
debilitating.
have to like count certain things before they do things, or they have to do things in the same order, and if they mess it up they have to do it again. Like that's an actual mental condition that like we've all probably said it, like, oh, I'm so OCD about that, or like, whatever.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, of course. And it's all like, and again, that's like something I'm sensitive to because of my own triggers. So I think it'll go away. I don't think it's something we have to worry about just based on like everything with anxiety and all of that. Like that's not as, I don't think that's as big of an issue now. Like people saying, oh, like I have anxiety. Like it's not, I remember being like, oh my God, it's all they talk about. But now it feels that way with ADHD. Yeah.
Do you think... Well, actually, we didn't really talk about the different careers that you had. Like,
fair.
And how... I guess, like, because like I said, for a friend of mine whose job, like, she's a rec therapist.
Right.
So, like, for her job, she's, like, always moving, always going, trying to get people energized. So, like, for her, it doesn't affect her.
Right.
For someone else I know with a desk job, it's, like, very hard to focus and, like... hard that way. So maybe like if you were in a different job where you're more active and then you're going to a desk job, which is kind of what you did.
Yeah.
So maybe like talk about that.
Yeah.
Like so timeline of like
for
that
sure
helping you realize it.
Yeah, that's true. I've always had like more active jobs, like customer service face or focus jobs, obviously throughout university. Then I took a career kind of change when I became like obsessed with fitness for a while and was a personal trainer for a few years. And that definitely helped my ADHD. Like that was a very ADHD friendly job in the sense that every hour I was with someone else. I was on my feet. Everyone looked different. Like there was no...
sitting down for 8 hours with the same file.
Exactly. There was no, like, I didn't have to, like, deeply analyze things. Like, I was talking constantly. So, in a lot of ways, it, like, helped, I think it just helped me hide it a little longer. Like, it kept it hidden. I wish I got diagnosed a lot sooner, but I guess, like, getting a desk job definitely did help me realize the issues I had, for sure. And I think a lot of people, like, I think for a long time I just thought, oh, I'm not cut out for a desk job. But then, like, in my heart and soul is, like, I want a desk job. Like, I was telling you how I love my new job because it's so businessy. Like, everyone dresses up so much. Like, I love that. I want to put on my little heels and sit at my desk and type on a computer. And everyone told me once I did that, I wouldn't want to do it anymore. Well, it's been years and I still want to do that. I love it. But it is hard. And like even last week I ran out of my medication. So I had a half dose because basically what happened was we increased my dosage. So I was supposed to take 2 pills instead of 1. And I only had 1 left. So I took 1 for that day. And it was like I noticed an immediate difference. And this is a new job. So like I should be very like, you know what I mean? I should be able to easily focus. But it was a challenge for sure. Like I would just like daydream so much. Like my mind just goes nuts.
Yeah.
So it's not so much like the sitting still for me. Like that's fine. It's more the mental. So like if jobs are on your feet, it's easy to like distract your brain and bop around and be in different places and have different thoughts.
Right.
But I think it also just makes it easier to hide it. So like it's good for people with ADHD, but like I still think there's a benefit to being diagnosed because it also changes like how you regulate your emotions and other things in life. And like there's going to be times when you have to like sit and think and process and you should know how to do that. or like learn your limitations to that at least.
Yeah. Do you think like now that you know, looking back to like elementary school or junior high, like are you like, oh,
Right.
I fully had that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think I have like a pretty extreme case, to be honest. And I don't know, that could just be me being crazy and in my head. But 100%, like I was always talks too much in class. Like my desk was always moved. I remember I would like one year I was put next to like the kid that didn't talk. That kid got me a Christmas gift that year because I made friends with them. Like,
yeah,
like I will talk to
that
anyone. And like I remember in English, I was put to the teacher's desk, and like people did not like this teacher. And I was like, at the end of that year, I was like, I love her. Like we were best friends. Like put me next to anyone. And I've always, I guess in a way, I've used that as my advantage too, because I have been very yappy to the teachers. Like. I think I went from like a 70 in English one year, and I was like, I'm gonna make best friends with this girl. And then I finished the year with 93 in English. So it's like, it definitely can be a superpower, but like that saying is a little ick.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think we're gonna do a part 2 for this episode, but I always end with advice. Do you have advice? It doesn't have to be about like ADHD or like big life changes or whatever, but I don't know, something.
I think like don't let societal pressures get to you. That's so like vague and like obvious, but like truly, like I feel like I turned 30 and turned my life upside down, and I'm so thankful I did. Like it was 6 months ago, it was rough, but like now I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm so much happier. I would never go back to where I was a year ago. Like I'm happier and sadder in ways, but like I can see that like the end goal, it's going to be so much better. So I think like who cares? Like I used to have so much shame about like I remember when I turned 27, I was like, vomit, don't tell anyone. And then I just like now I'm like, who cares? Yeah, I'm 31, and guess what? Like I don't act it. That's amazing. Like I think who cares? Like do whatever like your heart yearns for, not what you think you should be doing. So it's like if you want to go and get drunk, go get drunk. Like not if it's like irresponsible and you can't afford it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
There's a difference between like
if you're like, I don't want to settle down, then
self-medicating in a depressive state or something, and like just living.
Yeah, sorry.
And like not doing it because not doing it because you're like, oh, is this person gonna judge me?
Right.
Because it sounds so easy. The episode before this one is just like a life update on my stuff, and same thing, I'm like, I am so happy that shit didn't work out for me. Like I'm so happy
exactly
that like I did not get a promotion in my job that I used to be in, because I probably would still be there. And I'm so happy that I was single for so long, because I probably would have settled at one point or another for someone who isn't half as great as like what I have now. And like earlier in my 20s, I felt like behind because everyone else was moving out and I was still living at home, and that's the only way I could save for a house. And like now I'm like, thank God, because like it all kind of worked out. And I feel like that will happen for you. You've just been in the past year or two of being like,
that's a transition.
What changed? The transition, but no, that's exactly right. And it sounds so simple. I feel like a lot of what I talk about on this podcast, if you like, sometimes I feel dumb saying it. And I was just on a different podcast talking about relationships, and I'm like, you need to like doing the same things. And that sounds stupid. That sounds like a stupid thing to say, but there are so many people in relationships who hate doing stuff together. And there are a lot of people like what you just said, like it sounds simple to be like, don't cave to societal pressures, but there are those pressures because there are those judgmental people.
100%. Like so many people think like when I say like if you want to get drunk, I just mean like just because you're 30, you don't have to stop going out and having girls' nights, or like going on vacation, or like doing hood rat shit at 2 a.m. at Christian's bar. Like you don't have to give that up if you don't want to give it up. And like, and if you do, like if you're 22 and you don't want to do that stuff, then you don't have to do that either. Like if you're an old soul, be an old soul, and if you're young at heart, be young at heart. But like just I think like just listen to your heart, because I think I didn't for so long, and then it just got to a point where it forced me to, and then I had all of these life changes, which was a lot to handle, and I'm happy that it happened. However, obviously, if I just like listened and did some soul searching before, it would have been a smoother transition.
Right.
So yeah, I think just age is, when it comes to yourself, not other people, age is just a number. And you are however old you feel. So
my nan used to say, you're only as young as you feel.
Exactly.
And she was like 70 and she was like, I feels 30.
100%. My mom says that all the time. My mom says that she feels 20.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, great. So do I.
My hangovers are worse, but aside from that,
yeah,
pretty much the same.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but
can't do that.
I'll make up for it when I do.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll go out and then like 3 days later.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not
exactly.
Like yeah. I mean, every now and then there's circumstances where that happens, but I digress.
Exactly. If you want to, you want to.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I feel like we all thought that you had to stop doing certain things by 30.
Right.
And you had to have certain things by 30. And then you turn 30 and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
It's actually very freeing to be like, ha.
Yeah, exactly.
All you 20-year-olds think that you should be somewhere and doing something, and you don't.
You actually have no idea. And I think we've talked about it a couple of times now, and I sent you that meme today, which is like, or that video or whatever, saying like, I've seen a lot of, sorry, this is confusing how I'm wording it, but I've seen a lot of TikToks and memes from like the younger generation, I guess, people in their early 20s, responding to people in their 30s, posting and saying like, this gives me peace knowing that there's no rush to grow up.
Yes.
And it's so true. Like, I think same thing. I would have felt the same way. I was so stressed about turning 27 and now I'm like, hello, it's the same thing. I'm not really so like a year older. It's just, I don't feel it, so I'm not. And yeah, and like, I think, yeah, obviously we have a biological clock, but like, there's shit available to us now, and that's getting longer every year there is. Like, many of us have parents that didn't have kids till they were in their 40s, so I think...
That was something I saw on TikTok, is this girl whose mom had her at 37 and her sister at 40. And she's like, we have a great relationship. We are so... like, no shade to anyone having kids young, obviously. And if you see a timeline for yourself and it works out, great.
Yeah,
but
if that's
like,
what you want.
Okay if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like it did. So like this person and her mom, and the mom gives advice and whatever on TikTok. I don't know the account, but seeing that was very validating. And I think that will be my advice for this episode, is to follow people older than you on social media.
Yeah.
Because I follow like women in their 40s, and there's someone in their 60s or 70s, and like I watched The Golden Bachelor, which I was like, oh my god, we have so much time. Like we have so much time. And there's another Instagram account, it's like Retirement House, and it's these 4 or 5 seniors, and they all live together, and like I don't think any of them are married or anything, but like they're living.
Yeah, you can do like, shit that you want to do at any age. It doesn't matter. Like, my mom does that. She goes for girls' weekends all the time. They rent an Airbnb with a hot tub, and they get shirts made, and they're like, we're 30, and they do shots and whatever. They don't care. And like, what else was I was going to say something else about that. But yeah, I think just do whatever, like, do your soul searching and do what your heart yearns for. I feel like that's what, like, I've been saying the last few months. Like, me and one of my friends have been asking each other that, like, what are you yearning for right now? And like, just thinking about that, it's like, okay, cool, do that then, make it happen, figure it out.
And I think surrounding yourself by people who like don't judge you for it, like the past 5 years, I feel like I've just been on and up, but like there was that period of like 2019, 2020, 2021, I was a little bit of a mess. And having friends around you who are like not judgmental is very helpful, or who are like, okay, I recognize you're going through it. Like,
well, yeah, and you've been
good. Like,
so much of that person for me the last year. And like, same thing with Devin. Like, when you're a mess, you act erratically sometimes, or you get too drunk, or you like cry or whatever. So it's like, it is really important to just like have people in your corner that are like, I got you, don't worry, I'm not holding anything over you, be a mess, we're all a mess. That's how you are when your emotions are awry. So it's like,
and I guess some people, if they haven't gone through it yet, like it's harder to like understand, but like I think that's why I recognize it, because like I've been there where like my question or my choices were questionable, and like, you know.
Well, yeah, I think you're more reckless. Like, you're more reckless. You're more impulsive, you're more critical. Like, all of those things have been things I've been, like, dealing with. Like, I noticed just, like, obviously if you're, like, unhappy in yourself, all of a sudden I'm out and I'm like, oh my God, no one likes me. Like, just things like that. And then, like, getting in your head.
Yeah.
It's all, like, part of that. So it's, like, just forgive yourself, and, like, if people are giving you shit, then find people who, like, believe what you believe and want to do what you want to do. And you don't need to say goodbye to the people that don't, but, like, make room for the people that, like, match exactly what you want in life, whether it's online or in person. Like, find those people.
Yep. Agreed with it all.
Yeah.
We are gonna do a part 2. We're gonna get some more wine.
Sounds
and we're gonna
good.
do a part 2. Most of my episodes are very, like, I guess serious topics, or like I'm trying to get a point across, but I don't know. Part 2 is not going to be like that. We're just going to, like, have fun and, like, not be as serious. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for chatting about your shit.
Thanks for having me. This is literally my dream come true. If you know me, you know I've dreamt about being on a podcast my whole life.
Well, you can come back multiple times.
Okay, slay. I'm the new co-host.
Thanks again to Janelle, and thanks everyone for listening. Like I said, there is going to be a part 2, hopefully in 2 weeks. I usually do bi-weekly episodes, but I've been so busy. That's why there's been a month in between this one and the last one that I released. So hopefully in 2 weeks, and I do have a couple more planned for the rest of the year, so stay tuned. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, at Newfound Happy Hour, and anywhere you get your podcasts.